Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Patchwork and this is DCS World. I really wanted to get something out, whether it's Arma 3, DCS, anything really. I just wanted a video out because it's been about 3 weeks since my last video. And I thought DCS World would be a good choice, seeing as that it's actually on sale on their eShop on their website currently. So if you're watching this video as it's released, I recommend you check out their eShop if you've been interested in picking up DCS. Now, if you guys actually fly DCS Black Shark every once in a while, you might be criticizing my startup procedure. Probably because I'm doing all this off the top of my head. I have no checklist with me. I did not have one available at the moment. Really doing this all off the top of my head. Nothing to be alarmed about. And I might actually forget a few things every once in a while, but I'll quickly correct that if I notice it. I haven't had anything catastrophic happen. That's good. I mean, I consider if I get it off the ground, we're on a good start. Feel like I'm forgetting something, you know, that's probably, yeah, that would be my fire extinguisher there. Don't want to forget that. Alrighty. Make sure everything there's good, okay. All set. My attitude indicator is on, so let's go ahead and uncage that. All my switches have been activated properly, so let's go ahead and start up the APU. Let's get the fuel pump on. But, oh shit, why did I do that? That's okay, as long as I didn't start up the APU during the meantime, that should be fine. Okay. APU is starting up. So let's go ahead and close the canopy. So when I turn on the engines, it's going to get quite loud. Alright, so my ABRIS MFCD is still starting up. Should be good to start up the engines now, so let's go ahead and turn off the engine governors. Now let's start up the left engine, select the left engine and start it up. And I did something stupid, didn't I? Yep. Minorly stupid, though I think may be correctable. That was bad, but it should be just fine. Yep, there we go. All good, all good. Minor mix-up. Accidentally left the fuel cutoff valve, or the engine cutoff valve, closed. I want to open that up though, so we should be good. Weapon systems on. Okay. Triple checking that my ejection seats are on. That'd be terrible if something bad happened and I could do nothing about it. Let's actually turn on the beacons right now since blades are spinning. Gonna leave off any other lights because I personally do not like having a visual signature if I can help it. So blade tip lights and formational lights are going to be kept off for now. Now while we are... okay, that's already... wow, that was fast. And left engine's RPMs are good, so let's go ahead and do the same for the right engine. Once again, the cutoff valve. Okay, that's good. Alright, now while that's on its, well, that's fully ramping up its RPMs, let's go and set up the waypoint system. I actually like my countermeasures to be on both sides. It's not overly important, but just a personal preference. I'm not going to set a delay or a burst amount for my countermeasure, since I'm just going to do it per click of the countermeasure button on my cyclic. Let's make sure Betty's all good.
Ekran is ready.
Yeah, Betty's good. Russian Betty's actually much nicer and less annoying than the American Betty's. Alright, now I think I'm just gonna put this up to auto throttle control. There we go. Throttle set to auto. And I'm just looking over every single little switch before I finally take off. Alright, forgot that, so it's going to shut off the APU. And I think now we're good. And if I forget something, I don't think it's going to kill me. I mean, everything that's going to allow me to get into the air safely is activated, so if something's disabled, I should be able to quickly correct that. So I normally would talk to air traffic control, request permission to taxi, so on, but I'm not going to be doing that this run exactly. I'm going to scoot forward a little bit off the white lines. I usually do that because if something were to happen and I were to blow up, I don't want to have this aircraft's carcass right where I'd spawn. So let's go ahead and take off now. Just gently raising the collective. That should allow me to take off nice and smooth. I'm going to go ahead and raise the gear as well, since I have a steady climb rate. Now, it takes a little bit to warm up, but a airspeed indicator should pop up shortly on my heads-up display there. That click's just me trimming the aircraft. And that's fairly stable, so let's go and release it. Alright. Now we're all trimmed up, so let's go and hit F10 on the map. Now we are located at Krimskaya. It gets more difficult as we string along. Athirsk is relatively empty, but once we get to Homsky, that's where we're going to see things like armored vehicles. For instance, we're going to see more T-55s, BMP-80s, things along those lines, and it just gets more and more difficult as we string along. Now our current plan is to attack Homsky, but we're going a little bit to the north, as you see, and that way we can fly along here without touching any of the AOs and without them firing back at us. So we're going to go ahead and turn in now and start heading directly east. Since we have enough, we moved ourselves quite a bit north, so that way we should not be within range of Abinsk or any other areas with enemy. Now this flight is roughly going to be 10 nautical miles. We're looking at maybe 5 to 10 minutes of flight over to the AO, so I'm most likely going to skip that. So I will see you there. Now I'm going to go ahead and release the trim, so this is going to get a bit jerky. Oh, there we go. Trim release, but we went ahead and caught that. Now we're just going to try to bleed off as much speed as we can. While we're doing this, let's also bring down our helmet mount display. And let's go ahead and arrange our distance to the AO. And actually, while we've done this, we've run right on... Well, we've already spotted some targets. So we've already locked them up there in the Schval in the bottom. Let's go ahead and make sure that we caged it properly. Go ahead and keep that size. Now we are fairly close, so I would go in for rockets, but there is infantry there, so we're gonna go ahead and save the rocket strike for when we engage the infantry. Now another thing with the Black Shark is that sometimes it'll incorrectly calculate the distance, so if you just leave it there too long, so what you need to do is just relaze it. Just re-hit that lock button. And now you have the launch queue with the C below, so I'm gonna go ahead and hover that little eye right on that circle, line it up, and I get the C next to that TA at the top, and that gives us our launch queue. So rifle. Looks like a good hit. I'm also keeping an eye on my climb and descent gauge right there, and it seems that I'm climbing a bit too much. So I'm going to go ahead and back off the collective just a bit. Also have to keep an eye on the terrain and everything. Can feel like you're a one-man band act controlling this thing, seeing as you're controlling all the weapon systems by yourself and flying it at the same time, so it's not unusual to start drifting or orienting the wrong position because you're looking too closely and tunnel visioning on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and relays just a last second, just to make sure that the range is correct. Otherwise that missile's going to go soaring right over it. But it looks like we got ourselves a hit. And we still have the infantry around there, so I'm going to go ahead and see if we can lock them up for a rocket strike. I recommend going for their feet, because that way you're lasing exactly where they're standing, so you get a correct indication of what their distance is. Now what I need to do is switch over to rockets. Now it automatically calculates everything for us, including the drop range, but rockets are quite inaccurate. So we're gonna just kind of have to hope and pray that they land on the target. I'm gonna actually sit up a little bit, that way I can see. And now these rockets really love to deviate, so you have to line this up just perfectly. I think we got some good rocket strikes there. Oh, that's a bit far away. But it's only to be suspected when we're attacking a target so small. Actually, that last one there was fairly close. Now, something I can do is select the burst amount to long. I'm actually going to set it to medium because we can actually lose a lot of our ordnance quite quickly if we leave it like that. So we're going to go ahead and realign. Let's hope that those hit. I think they may have been a bit off. Rockets are generally better for lighter vehicles, such as transport vehicles, Urals, things like that. But I thought I'd like to demonstrate the rockets a bit. I don't think we are within gun range, so that's a bit of a shame. I can try to move up, but I'm actually thinking that might not be the best idea. Just due to that AO being a little bit too hot, so I think we're going to go ahead and back off a bit and search for more targets, and we'll try to get back to him. Let's go and switch out of guns. No longer a plan to go with guns, but yep, let's go for that. I believe to be a BMP-80. Let's go and raise our altitude just the slightest bit, but we actually have a good line of sight, so I don't think that's quite necessary. Rifle. And that was 2 rockets, which was entirely wasteful. But that's just due to me forgetting that I had it on a medium burst setting. Well, at least we can guarantee it'll be destroyed. I went ahead and trimmed it up there so I can go and set that back to short. And now we have that light vehicle. Now that's 6 kilometers away. I might leave that as well so we can actually get a proper strike with rockets. But for now, let's go ahead and take out what looks to be a transport vehicle. Light transport vehicle. See, I think it properly calculated the range. Yep, just went ahead and relays there. So you can see now it's only 6.7 kilometers instead of the 8.1 I think it was at. And rifle. Just going to zoom out a little bit so I can see the terrain. That was a good hit. We also have another target here. Let's hope he doesn't get spooked and run away. And we got that. Wait, I think I'm going to pass on him, and I'd rather go for that armored vehicle right there. So let's go and rifle. Good launch queue. I'm still gaining way more altitude than I would ever need, and it's really just exposing me. So I'm going to go and back off a bit. If I'm correct, that should have spooked the target to where it should start moving. Yep, I see a little bit of plumes as if he was driving away. I'm actually going to back up a bit as well, because if you can see the city, it's generally not a good idea. Generally too close. Now, I'm actually going to start strafing a little bit to the left of our position while we're doing this. Looks like we got a good lock on that vehicle, so let's go ahead and try to reacquire it as best as we can. Ah, there it is. Shouldn't really gain more altitude, but I think I'm going to need it if I want to get a good hit on it. So let's go ahead and raise it up just the slightest bit. Rifle. I think I was off with the laze there. I think I was lasing near the trees rather than the target itself. So I do not think that's going to be a good hit. But hopefully it'll go ahead and land and we can get another... Yep, there we go. It's ready for another strike. Just drifted a little too far. And rifle. Okay, this time it looks like it's going to be a hit. Yep. Missile has the correct range. And splash. Now, I've really gained a lot of altitude, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and back off. Well, I'm too close and I'm too high, so let's go ahead and turn around and nosedive to lead off that altitude and speed. Or increase the speed, rather. I was way up there. It's about 500 meters, way over 500 meters. Actually, I'm still too high. I want to get to around 100 and under 150 meters. Just gonna go ahead and reorient. right there on the nav panel as well. It'll show exactly where my laser is, so I can adjust and it can help me go ahead and get over the target area, make sure I'm looking in all the right spots. Just had to raise my altitude a little bit. I did still leave that vehicle. I was going to show a rocket strike on it, but I think I'd rather not. I need to be within about 7.1 kilometers of him to actually get a launch cue. Fortunately, those are no closer, so I'm gonna go ahead and move up. What is that exactly? That looks quite a bit larger. T-55 almost. Yep. I think that would be a T-55. Gonna zoom out. Just need to keep eyes on where I'm going. So I'm currently 7.9 kilometers away from the target. To get to about under 7.1 kilometers. Nice and locked on that T-55. However, I still need to get within that 7.1 kilometer max range. Alright, that's got it. It's all set up. So let's go ahead and fire on that lead T-51 rifle. Something tells me that did not go anywhere near the target itself. There we go, that's going to be a good hit. And splash. Now T-55s are quite a bit more armored, so he's going to make a little bit, but he is smoking, which means that he's about to explode shortly. Might be able to even zoom out and we can see that. I think he already blew up, but let's go into launch now before he goes behind those trees. I lost my lock, but it should still be on my laser itself. Yep, and I unfortunately couldn't get another lock on that T-55, so I'm going to try that again. What a shame. It was a missed Vicar. So let's go and go for my last Vicar on that T-55 rifle. Now this should be a good hit. That was a good hit. Now it is going to move a little bit before it completely goes down, or maybe not. Maybe not. Well, there we go. There's more destroyed vehicles over there. We still have that. So I'm thinking we can go ahead and do our rocket strike on that transport truck there. We have our rocket selected. Relays. So let's go and move in to take it out. Actually going to recage this as well. Probably want to be within 4 kilometers. So let's go and start firing now. spooked him, I think. Moved a little bit from what I saw. Now, as soon as we see those collide, even if they don't hit him, I need to back off. Yeah, it looks like that was another miss. Actually, let's go for guns while we're at it. It's kind of dangerous being right over the city the way we are. Looks like I was off with the range, but yep, he's smoking now. We're in a really bad spot now. We're flying right over the village. Need to get out of here. In fact, I'm actually gonna dispense some flares while we're here. Just steadily dispensing some flares. That loud annoying noise would be my indicated airspeed max. So I was flying faster than I should. Well, alright. Now I know that was only around, I'd probably have to say 8 targets that we destroyed. I think I'm going to go ahead and RTB to us being out of Vickers, low on rockets, and really just guns are all that we have left, but let's go to an RTB. Yeah, when I play DCS in multiplayer, I usually stream it. You know, feel free to check out my Twitch if you want to see more. I definitely have some past broadcasts on there and stuff that you can check out. Something I am looking forward to with the Edge engine update that they're going to be adding, which I believe they said it is going to be around before the end of the year. Before the year is over, essentially, is what they say, but, you know, that could always be subject to change. But what they stated that they're going to be adding, that I found out about today, is that they are going to be adding a multiplayer within the same aircraft. Now, something that is a bit of a concern when making something like a Cobra or an Apache for DCS is, or even just a pilot, co-pilot, pilot, weapons operator, and something like in fixed-wing aircraft as well. Problem with that is that it relies heavily on having 2 people. Currently, the QE is generally a 2-person aircraft, but it's currently being operated to where you jump between the pilot and co-pilot, and you just kind of possess one or the other. Unfortunately, in something like a Cobra or an Apache, that'd be rough. That'd be really, it wouldn't be impossible, but it just would be kind of a nightmare. The Black Shark, for instance, is made to be operated by a single person. It has nice flight assist, or an auto-piloting profile sets, like, for instance, hover hold, heading hold, bank holds, pitch hold, things like that. These are all help to try to make it easier for someone to fly the aircraft and operate weapon systems, and you know, you don't have that luxury in a Cobra because it's designed to have someone focusing entirely on flying and another person focusing on the weapon system. So it'd be kind of a nightmare to fly that thing, in my opinion anyway. It'd be a nightmare to fly and do all that on your own, especially with, you know, and that's another reason why I was, the coaxial rotors are probably the main reason why I dislike the flight in the Black Shark. Is just not as fun without, you know, the more classic and general tail rotor, or a anti-torque rotor on the back. But it also helps out because that way it generally controls, you don't have to fight the torque nearly as much, if at all. And it's just a better flight experience if you're trying to operate weapon systems and do all this while flying the entire aircraft. Sorry if I'm taking pause breaks in my speech, because I'm just concentrating on the actual landing here. It's just gonna be a bit rough. Now my landing gear is down. You can always triple check that by the lights in the left front. 3 green lights means you are good to land. And also, I just checked my shadows and you can see the wheels. So I'm gonna go ahead and gauge wheel brake. Collective's at the lowest. I think we're good. I break my front? I feel like I may have broken my front landing gear, but I don't think it really matters. I'm not even going to go into third person to check that because it would just kind of spoil the experience, or it'd spoil the ending of this. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and shut everything off now. Now, unlike the startup, I have not memorized the shut off. From what I found out, it's kind of stupid easy. So it's not a huge problem in that end, so... Oh shit. That was stupid of me. Should have brought the collective to... Or, I mean, sorry, the throttle to idle first. God, I'm terrible at this. Anyway. Spilling down nicely. And I'm not dead, so I think that's fairly successful when it comes to a shutdown. Not dead, check. Engines off, check. Shutdown complete. Once again, I'm probably doing this all in the wrong order, and you're mocking me in your mind. This has been DCS Black Shark. Thanks for tuning in. It's actually kind of nice to switch it up for armor, and sorry that I haven't been uploading. I don't know, it was kind of nice to have a 3-week break, but I think it's back. I think it's good. It's about time to come back and stop procrastinating, so... You know, it's nice to be back, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you actually are interested in more DCS, you know, feel free to follow me on Twitch TV as well, because that is actually where I do most of my Twitch. I mean, most of my DCS stuff. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. I'm not going to bore you with this, but, you know, thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you in the next one.